Hello, my dear students, my well wishers, all of you are welcome to my channel and Easy Step to English Grammar. I am a native speaker Sukumar Boiragi and my tonight's topic of reading or discussion is O. Henry's short story, The Last Leaf. And all of you know that O. Henry is an American author. He is a poet as well as a short story writer. His famous short stories are The Gift of the Magi, Jimmy Valentine, The Last Leaf, etc. And his original name is Henry Sidney Porter. Henry Sidney Porter. And O. Henry is his pseudonym. And I am going to teach you in Anglo-Bengali method because most of you can't understand the meanings of most of the words. Pseudonym means Choddanam. He took the pen name O. Henry, that is pseudonym, and he wrote many short stories, novels, and poems. However, The Last Leaf is a famous short story of O. Henry, and tonight I shall not be able to complete the story. As far as practicable, I am going to read with you, and the next night I shall complete it, I promise. However, it is autumn. The wind is blowing hard and it is raining heavily. It is raining heavily. All the leaves on an ivy creeper have fallen. অর্থাৎ আইভি এক ধরনের লতানে গাছ, গুল্ম লতানে গাছ, তার সমস্ত পাতাগুলো ঝরে পড়েছে, হ্যাভ ফলেন, except one. Only one leaf remains in the creeper or on the creeper. Why doesn't the last leaf fall? ওই শেষ পাতাটি কেন পড়ছে না? It is the content of the story. Let us start, and before starting my lesson, I cannot but remind you to subscribe my channel, to like, to comment, to share. Don't forget to subscribe. However, it is a very interesting story, and it is the story of the two youngsters, the two young girls. The names of the girls are Sue and Johnsy. Sue, S-U-E, Johnsy, Johnsey. Two young artists shared a small flat. They jointly lived in a flat, and the flat was on the third story of an old house. একটা পুরনো বাড়ির তিনতলাতে ছিল সেই ফ্ল্যাটটি। Johnsy fell very seriously ill in November. In the month of November, it is the month of cold, and during this month, many fall ill in England because it is a cold country. Jhansi fell very seriously ill. She had pneumonia, pneumonia. Pneumonia, it is the congestion of lungs. It is the congestion of lungs due to cough and cold. Due to cough and cold, it is the congestion of lungs. And at that time, many died of pneumonia. She would lie in her bed without moving. That means Jhansi, being very ill, seriously ill, due to pneumonia, she was lying still in her bed. She was motionless, just gazing out of the window. And Jhansi was looking out of the window for something else. Sue, her friend, became very worried. Her friend Sue was mentally too much agonized or painful, and she was too much worried of Jhansi. She sent for the doctor, called on doctor. She immediately visited doctor for the treatment of Jhansi. Although he became every day, although the doctor almost came every day or came almost every day, there was no change in Jhansi's condition. So Jhansi's condition, her pneumonia remained unchanged because Jhansi lost her mental strength and she was expecting to die. One day the doctor took Sue aside. একদিন ডাক্তার সুকে একটু ধারে নিয়ে গেল, একটু পাশে নিয়ে গেল, and asked her, is anything worrying Jhansi? Is there something that is causing trouble or causing mental trouble to Jhansi? Is Jhansi thinking of something? It was asked by the doctor because the doctor observed something peculiar in Jhansi. No, replied Sue. Sue promptly answered that there was no such symptom. But why do you ask? And at the same time, Sue asked the doctor why he was asking this type of question or that type of question. The doctor said, Jhansi, it seems, has made up her mind that she is not going to get well. The doctor answered or replied that Jhansi was confirmed of her death. She was expecting that death was coming nearer and nearer, and there was no hope of recovery. It was the expectation of Jhansi. Jhansi made herself prepared for death. If she doesn't want to live, medicines will not help her. The doctor clearly declared or proclaimed or announced that if Jhansi had no intention to live, if Jhansi doesn't want to live, there is no such medicine that can cure her. medicine will act upon anybody else, the person who has the intention to live. Clear? She tried her best to make Johnsy take an interest in things around her, and therefore following the advice of the doctor, Sue tried her best to make Johnsy take an interest in things around her. That means Sue was trying her level best to attract Johnsy's attention to the things around her, just to divert her attention from her wrong idea that she was going to die. She talked about clothes and fashions, and having wanted to divert her attention, Sue was talking about clothes, fashions, etc. as they were artists. They were artists, so they should have interest in clothes and fashions. And in order to divert Johnsy's conviction, Johnsy's attention from death, she was talking about clothes and fashions. But Johnsy did not respond. To Sue's effort, Sue's endeavor or effort. What was her effort? Her effort was to divert Johnsy's attention. Johnsy continued to lie still on bed, and Johnsy constantly was lying on her bed. Sue brought her drawing board, and Sue was very obstinate, and she tried her best to save the life of her friend, her roommate. She at once brought her drawing board, the board on which the paper was set, the drawing paper was set, and on which they used to draw and paint. Okay? And started painting on that particular board. To take Johnsy's mind off her illness, that means to withdraw Johnsy's mind from her illness, that is pneumonia, she whistled while working. While drawing the picture, she was whistling. Seize the cello. Whistling, that means whistling a song. And it might have amused the mind, or the whistling might have been the remedy to Johnsy's pneumonia. And that is why Sue was whistling. Seize the cello. Suddenly, she heard Johnsy whisper something. হঠাৎ সে শুনল যে জনসি ফিস করে কিছু বলছে। Whisper means to talk in a very low voice. Or in almost inaudible voice. That is whisper. She quickly rushed to bed. দ্রুত তার শয্যার কাছে চলে গেল, and heard Johnsy counting backwards. এবং দেখল যে জনসি পিছনের দিকে গুনছে। For example, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, etc. Backward, not forward. She was looking out of the window and was saying, জানালার বাইরে সে তাকিয়েছিল এবং বলছিল 12. It is not of exclamation. 12টা ছিল. There were 12 leaves on the ivy creeper. There were 12 leaves. 12. Note of exclamation. After some time, she whispered 11. তারপর কিছুটা সময় পরেই সে আবার ফিসফিস করে বলল 11টি. Only 11. Then 10. Then 9. 8. 7. That means one after another, the leaves or one after another, the leaf was fallen down because it was autumn and it was natural for any tree or any creeper to shed the leaves, the old leaves, to have the new leaves. All of we know it. Sue anxiously looked out of the window and following Jansi, Sue also looked out of the window. জনসিকে অনুসরণ করে সুও ওই জানালার বাইরে তাকালো. She saw an old ivy creeper. সে দেখল একটা বৃদ্ধ, একটা পুরনো আইভি লতানে গাছ. Climbing halfway up the brick wall. ইটের তৈরি প্রাচীরে মাঝখান অবধি উঠে গেছে. And the brick wall opposite their window. And the brick wall was opposite to the window through which they were peeping through. Through which they were peeping. Through which they were looking. In the strong wind outside, বাইরে যে ঝোড়ো বাতাস, the creeper was shedding its leaves. এই লতানে গাছটি তার পাতাগুলি ঝরিয়ে ফেলছিল. So what was the impact? What was the impact of the fallen trees? The impact of the fallen trees on Jansi, who was suffering from pneumonia, an ailment of lungs, was thinking of her own death, and she knew, or she came to the resolution that when the last leaf would fall down, she would become still on her bed. That means her life would also go out of her body. It was the firm resolution of Jansi, and it was the wrong conception of Jansi. Let us see what happens, and I think that I should have 2 more classes, and within 2 more classes I will finish the story. It is an interesting story. Don't miss, and I think that I shall come to your benefit, and I shall be highly encouraged and enthused if you subscribe my channel. Good night. Stay safe, stay mellow, study hard. Your exam is knocking at the door. Thank you.